Canada has typically traded on its good name to build economic value, but are we in danger of losing clout in the world? And with it, the potential of some of that economic value. Janice Stein is a professor at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy, and she's with us now. Janice, thanks for being here.
Pleasure, Amanda.
So there is a relationship, of course, between our reputation and how we're viewed and the ties we make with other nations. And I'm curious to start with you on where we stand. Have we seen a degradation of our relationship with other countries?
I don't think it's a general degradation, but there is a question whether we are providing value, especially on defense, when we step up to the big tables, Amanda. I don't think there's much debate about that.
And we did, of course, see the government recently raise the amount we will spend on defense. Do things like that help to put us in a different position at some of those tables?
It sure helps. There's no question about it. It is regarded as a big step along the way. Not there yet, but definitely helps.
One of the realities seems to be that we're in a world, in an environment where trade and freer trade, ever freer trade, is not really a given anymore. You could say that it started with the Trump administration, but it's been adopted everywhere, Janice. And we see it from the UK, we see it in Europe, even in Canada. There's just a more protectionist mentality. For a trading nation, an exporting nation like ours, what kind of complications does that present?
This is probably our biggest challenge, Amanda. The world has stepped back from free trade. It's not that the proportion of global trade as a proportion of our global GDP is not growing. It is, but it's increasingly regionalized. For Canada, there is no question that will push us to concentrate on our own region and particularly on our biggest trading partner, the United States.
Even there, we're all reminded, of course, from the renegotiation of NAFTA, now CUSMA, that, things aren't always flowers and sunshine with our relationship when it comes to trade with the U.S. Are we still, though, do you think, in a pretty good position in terms of keeping at least the free trade we have, if not expanding it into some problematic areas that we've seen in the past, like softwood lumber, like steel?
Complacency is our biggest enemy here. It's not only Trump, it is the Biden administration, which continues to talk about raising tariffs. We are on the verge, I think, of some extraordinary new measures directed against China. Mm-hmm. It is the Biden Secretary of Trade who said NAFTA 2, CUSMA is up for renewal. Everybody should come to that table with a degree of uncertainty. Nobody should take this for granted. Canadians cannot take this for granted.
Which does introduce this uncertainty, this kind of renegotiation, the sunset clause they built back into this agreement every 6 years. Meanwhile, Janice, I do have to ask you, we have this bill passing through now, past second reading of the Senate, that would make it illegal to negotiate around supply management. How does that hamper us as we head back into reopening the negotiations of that North American deal?
I am shaking my head, Amanda. The biggest issue, one of the two biggest issues that were toughest to negotiate with the Trump administration last time was supply management. It is our form of protectionism. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt it will be on the table for the next renegotiation that will take place beginning in 1926. Should this bill pass the Senate and become law, it effectively ties the next government's hands. Now, you can say that's great. We can say that the United States, we're constrained by law. I don't think that will cut it with U.S. trade negotiators.
Janice, we've got to leave it there. It's great to have you for this.
Pleasure.
Janice Stein is a professor at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy.